Hello and welcome to next chapter of KNX Advanced book. It's called Multimedia System in KNX. My name is Amir. I hope you will enjoy it and please let me know if you have any questions. First of all, the book provides us some definition of multimedia. It says the term multimedia stands for system or transmission technology which enable different content and formats to be routed or playback. It can include a combination of audio, video, images, text, even animation. A multimedia system frequently represents a combination of different multimedia components which together produce a functional system. These components can in most cases record and play audio content or even display the multimedia content. Type of multimedia system. Which type of multimedia systems we have it and we want to talk about it? First of all, we have the audio systems. An audio system generally consists of electronic equipment for recording or reproducing sound. In order to be clear, we are going to distinguish audio system in two categories: typical audio system and extended audio systems. Typical audio system. A typical audio system contains one audio source and one audio output. For example, MP3 player with a connected headset. This is the simplest representation of an audio system and it is some sort of multimedia systems. An extended audio system, something sophisticated ones, can contain different audio sources, an audio mixing unit and various audio outputs. A typical application is, for example, concert hall, where various microphones are used to transmit the tone from different musical instruments to an audio mixing unit and amplifier. It can be analog or digital. The properties of each input can then be selected and set on these two components. A number of loudspeakers can be connected to the output of audio mixing units to reproduce the required tone. Amplifiers can be connected to the microphone and for loudspeaker cables so that the signal can be transmitted without any loss. If you want to know more about it, you can go through the product, for example, from Yamaha or Denon, and learn more about the sophisticated audio systems. Then, the next multimedia systems that we want to consider is intercom systems. The simple intercom is audio to audio ones. It is usually consists of two or more devices which are frequently equipped with an audio recording and playback functions. Okay? You pick up the phone and call some station in your building and you have the two-way communication based on sound with the destination. Okay? A participant talk to and listen to another participant from the same system. So this is a two-way communication. Note, in some cases, these type of intercom system use call centers to connect the participants. To save time and space, we must restrict ourselves to the description of peer-to-peer intercom systems. Okay, in addition to what we learned for audio intercom, we have the audio and video intercom. Okay, so the audio and video intercom system consists of cameras and audio devices with the recording and playback functions. Participants from this type of system can both see and listen to each other. Okay, it's possible for them to have the two-way communication for video and audio. A variant of this system is the indoor intercom system. So for most of the time it's the indoor intercom system which enables the user inside of the building to see the visitor outside the door but does not allow the visitor to see the user inside of the room. Because most of the time when we talk about the intercom, we want to put some outdoor station at the outdoor of the building and have some indoor stations inside of the buildings. And if somebody pick up the phone from the inside, he or she can see the outside, but the person who stand at the outdoor station, he cannot see the indoor, but he can have the two-way communication on the voice or sound. Okay, so this is the general example, the typical example of audio and video intercom is something that you can see in a picture. Basic control on multimedia systems. Okay, in the framework of building automation, we focus on controlling multimedia systems that offer extended function realized with the bus system. So when we talk about controlling the multimedia system, it means what we want to do, okay, which objects we want to control, and what status or feedback we will get it from the system. So we want to control zoom on off. It means the sound zoom of the system in the building. Okay, when we call zoom, it means, for example, you have the two zoom systems, so you can play two different music in two part of the building, floor number 1 and floor number 2, for example. So we can make the zoom on off. We should have the volume adjustment, okay, plus and minus. Source selection, for example, we want to choose the source will be the USB, hard or radio or internet stream or whatsoever. We want to mute the system, tone control, zoom broadcast, select radio station, and etc. Also, we want to get some feedback and status from the system and show it in the building management system or smart home app. It should be is the amplifier on or off, and what is the level of the volume, which source is already using, title of the current song. This is something important. It's not so easy to see the title of the song for the in a building management system. Your audio system should provide a nice interface to the IP. Title of the radio stations or RDS. Okay, so these are the comments and feedback that we need to control the system by the BMS. When we call the system, it means the sound system. Also in intercom, what do we want to do is we want to unlock the door from the system. For example, from your touch panel in your smart home, recording the date and time of the calls, recording the picture of the person who might have called, triggering of other functions via the KNX, such as lighting control when door is open, enabling the alarm system, and etc. Also, it's better or it is recommended to get some feedback from the system. Status of the door is open or closed, lock or unlock, displaying the details of missed calls, and displaying the picture of the person who has made a call. Okay, so in intercom also we from the smart home software connected to the intercom of the system, we want to have some command control and get some feedback or status from the system. So let's go and see the schematic of audio system controllable via the KNX. Okay, so the following example in this picture is the audio system which communicate directly with the KNX. So here we have some sources like the CD player and other things, music server, the second CD player, microphone. They are connected to the amplifier amplify the signals and then provide the right output to the audio actuator and the speakers. These audio actuators directly connected to the KNX bus coupling unit, and we can send and receive the telegram or packet of data to the audio actuators. Some company like EGI or WHD provide such a product. So let's see what we have here in the bus coupling unit of KNX, what we have as a group objects. As this audio actuator is a KNX device, it can be parameterized and programmed using ETS. Some of the available group objects are like this. You can see the amplifier number 1, you can on off, mute on off, volume step up down, volume absolute, something like between 0 and 100%, source absolute, source up down, you want to select the source, tune basis, tune treble, loudness on off, call zone 1, balance, and get the status on off, get the status volume, get the status source. This is the exact picture of the book, the standard book of advanced book. So you can see what audio actuator provide for us. A common application for the end user is to use, for example, a 4-fold push button like what we have in the picture to switch on off the audio system and to select the CD player 1 as the audio source. Moreover, volume control of the speakers in this room could also be possible. The group addresses that are needed are those that control these elements. You can see at least to control some audio system through the KNX we need 4 group addresses. One is audio actuator on off, okay, we can link it with one push button. Select the source, for example the CD player or USB or stream of the internet. Set up volume up down, this is extremely important, we want to up down the volume in the sound system, and for example switch on off the loudness. You can see we have the push button group objects and we have the group objects of the audio actuator, so we can link between those and make what we need. For example, here in this keypad, with the audio actuator on off, by using push button 1, 2 we can do it on off the audio actuator. We can select the audio source by using push button 3 and 4, okay. For example, we can select the source by 1 byte or 1 bit, bit by bit, step by step. Then scroll the volume up down by push button 5 and 6. It is possible with 5 and 6 we control the sound of the system, and enable or disable the loudness effect by using the push button 7 and 8. Okay, so in this push button we use 2 buttons for each operation, but here, for example, in this push button we use 1 button. It is also possible. So let's continue. Another common solution, but here what we have is that we have the audio system linked via the KNX IP interface and KNX. Okay, so we use the KNX IP interface. You can see the blue picture here. So what we have in previous solution is we have the communication realized directly from the audio actuator to the bus. This solution uses an indirect connection between KNX and the audio system with the KNX IP interface. What we have it here is indirect, not direct. That means that the central unit is no longer a KNX addressable device, but an IP network addressable device using a TCP IP for communication. Moreover, as an IP device, the audio system can also be controlled by other multimedia devices with an IP interface, such as touch panel computers or mobile devices. What we have here, you can see we have the central unit, okay? This central unit accepts some sources and also it provides some output to the speaker. Most of the time we have the amplifier embedded of the systems. Also it has the IP interface. You connect the central unit or sound server for the KNX devices to the switch, okay? Use the KNX IP interface and send the command to the KNX IP interface. It's going to the switch, and from the switch is transmitted to the central unit and controls the sound systems. Okay, of course you can connect the PC, smartphone, tablets, and whatsoever with the switch. If it's Wi-Fi, with the Wi-Fi source. Okay, so this is something typical nowadays. We use it. Some company like the embedded systems provide the sound server like this. Okay, here you are. This is the sound server from the OpenRB or embedded systems, something nice product, we can see the wiring diagram. You can see here this sound server accepts the sources like USB or Ethernet. It is provide directly output to the speaker, and you can communicate it with KNX IP interface to the IP port of the systems. Okay, it is possible. Great. So what we have in the book, it's also this one. You can see it's almost the same. Okay, moreover is we use the speaker with the IP interface. So here is the audio via the IP system controllable via the KNX. The following example here shows an audio via the IP systems which communicate with KNX via the special KNX to IP gateway and sends and control the signals. Also here in these systems we have the KNX IP interface connected to the switch, also the PC and whatsoever connected to the switch. The central units from the IP side connected to the switch, and from the audio side is connected to the audio sources. But for the speaker is with IP interface, and through the IP is connected to the switch. Here there is some term we want to take it into account. It is important to mention that the term multi-room audio controller is used by most of the KNX manufacturers producing devices for audio control which are either equipped with a KNX bus coupling unit or KNX IP interface. So this system is something like the previous system, this one, but the only difference is here the speakers is equipped with IP interface inside of it. Okay, great. So let's go for the intercom in KNX applications. Intercom system directly controllable via the KNX. You can see it here. The following example shows a door intercom system as a subcategory of intercom system which communicate directly with the KNX. Here you can see the intercom is directly connected to the KNX. The intercom it's coming with the bus coupling unit inside of it. The intercom is connected to the phone, is connected to the indoor station, is connected to the lock to open the electronic lock. Here from the KNX bus coupling unit you can send a command, you can send a packet of data, telegram to the KNX bus coupling unit of this intercom controller and open or close the door, or for example play the recorded sound or whatsoever. But this is nowadays almost not so popular. The popular one is coming with the IP interface. This example is an audio and video to audio and video intercom systems, door video phone system which communicate directly with the KNX. The functionality is the same as the audio to audio intercom system extended with the video connection. Here you can see we have the intercom controller with the IP interface. The intercom controller is going to communicate the audio and video between the outdoor station of the intercom and indoor station in the intercom. Okay. Also, this intercom controller is going to lock and unlock the door. But it has the IP interface. The IP interface connected to the switch. Okay. So from here you can connect the IP interface from the, for example, KNX IP interface to the IP or to the switch and send or receive the data. Remember that we never transmit the video or sound on the KNX cable. We only transmit the command. Open the door, for example, it is possible. Or perform some scenario. Because the bandwidth of the KNX is limited. So the sound and the video always transmitted on the IP side. Here also in previous one, the sound is transmitted on the 2 wire of analog systems. Remember that. Okay. Another example of the IP systems is this is a fully digital solution which is offered by various manufacturers. The greatest advantage is that all the components have the IP capability, can be accessed by all the devices in an existing network. It therefore does not require its own infrastructure such as cable, but can be based on existing structure. So nowadays mostly we follow it. This one, the devices, indoor devices, outdoor devices, is coming with the IP interface. Okay, most of the time the protocol SIP, Session Internet Protocol, is accepted by these devices. So we have the SIP outdoor station, we have the SIP indoor station, or IP outdoor station, IP indoor station, and they communicate it with each other. Okay, we have the switch, we connect it to the switch, and that's it, it's done. For example, the product from 2N company, the indoor or outdoor station, or Aquax from the indoor and outdoor station, they are the SIP, you can use it. And then with the KNX IP interface integrated in your mini server or server of the KNX, you can communicate with the systems. You can see here the lock, you can open it with the wire because we have some analog output. Of course, nowadays we have the lock with the, we have the relay actuator based on IP, so it is possible to connect it to the IP that side also. Great. So, multi-room systems. What is multi-room systems? The term multi-room or multi-rooming refers to the possibility of hearing and controlling music in each room of the apartment or house. Okay? The user is therefore not only limited to audio, but there are also systems available for video transmission. A multi-room system distributes a certain number of sources in the individual multi-room zones. The zones are defined areas in which the source is reproduced. Zones can extend over individual rooms or over several rooms. In this context, the source used can be classic playback devices such as radio or CD player, streaming devices, services, internet radio, and NAS storage can, however, also be used. A prerequisite for this is an appropriate playback devices. It should be possible for the user to integrate this system into the system as a whole, and the control should be uncomplicated. The residential or commercial environment should be analyzed precisely and cable-based or radio-based system selected depending on the environment. KNX manufacturer count on established hi-fi manufacturer for the multi-rooming and have corresponding cooperative partnership. The control can be implemented via the KNX sensor, and KNX signals are routed through the gateway to the system of the hi-fi manufacturer. You can see the KNX installation is connected to the server is connected to the IP, to the multi-room amplifier. Amplifier have the source based on IP or analog, and the output based on IP or analog. I would like to provide you some intercom solution in the market. You remember we talked about the product based on IP. Look at this picture. We have the KNX server, okay? Here. We have the touch panel, PC, blah, 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 okay? We have the audio systems here. We have the intercom systems here, and other things. All of them are connected to the KNX server. So your system is, you have the KNX server. This KNX server or KNX mini server can be the device in your electrical cabinet, can be embedded in your touch panel, okay? Can be some things installed in a rack. Then you need the SIP server in this solution, okay? And outdoor station. This outdoor station can be from the company 2N or Aquax or Mobitix or similars, okay? And then make the communication. Of course, this KNX server, as you see in the picture, it is possible to connect to the sound system. This is intercom system. This is the intercom system. This is a sound system. Make the distinguish between the intercom system and sound system. This server is monitor the KNX devices. It is possible. It is connected to the burglar alarm systems. It is connected to the CCTV systems, for example, to only have some log from the CCTV systems. But important things is it provide the full functionality to control the intercom and audio systems. This is one solution. It is a bit complicated because you should buy the SIP server, you should configure the SIP server, and your video and audio and intercom systems depend on the SIP server and so on. There is something a bit simple than this, is using the point-to-point devices. Some manufacturers provide you the point-to-point devices. It means you have the outdoor station here, what you see in the picture, and you have the indoor station, so you have the communication between indoor and outdoor with the IP point-to-point communication. Okay. Of course, in the SIP server, you can at the same time you can have the several calling, but here it is eliminated because this is a point-to-point from outdoor to indoor station. Also, some company provide the analog systems. In the analog systems, the touch panel or whatsoever, with the KNX interface you can control the KNX. With the analog communication 2-wire in intercom, you can connect to the 2-wire. The old solution and currently is used by ABB is provide like this, but I think since 2022 the ABB provides the IP intercom also based on their own products. I think it's not SIP. They provided in before the SIP, but nowadays it's based on IP. So we have several solutions and you can go through it and see about the intercom things. You can check the company 2N, Akuvox, you can check the company from KNX Divus, and similar and many other companies. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you have learned something useful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a nice day.